Hey guys, how you going? This is Billyeatworld again. Thanks for stopping by, and just remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, feel free to take a look at some of my other Hearthstone videos if you like. You can find them all in a playlist in the description down below. But anyway, about a year ago I made a video on a cheap Zoo Warlock deck, which at the time I thought was one of the best decks for new players. And sure enough, Zoo is still pretty strong, but with the release of Old Gods, I think C'Thun Druid has become probably an even better option. Now, by better I don't mean in terms of power level, but that it's a fairly simple board control deck with a lot of synergy that builds up to a big finisher. And I think because of this, it gives new players a much better idea of the fundamentals of the game, because at the end of the day, most good decks revolve around these principles. Another big reason that C'Thun Druid is so good for new players is obviously because it's not very expensive, and that's because unlike most decks, you get the big win condition legendary for free, and apart from that, you don't strictly need any other epics or legendaries. The reason for this is because the whole idea of the deck is to play the cheaper C'Thun minions on curve and then ramp up to C'Thun, which should swing the game around. So in other words, as long as you have a deck full of efficient minions, it won't really matter if they're common or legendary, just as long as you can keep the pressure on until you drop C'Thun. Now, I don't think I need to go on for too much longer with this intro because, as you'll see, this deck isn't terribly difficult to understand. But what I will say before we start though is that you're actually going to see two versions of this deck in the video, a budget deck and a more refined version. All up, I think the cheaper deck was only around 1,000 dust, and the other deck, which also has a Twin Emperor as well, was a bit more expensive at around 3,000 dust. But with that being said, all in all I think both decks did perform decently enough, so if you're a brand new player, just start out with the cheap one and work your way up. But anyway, sit back and enjoy the games, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see any more of my videos, and as always, see you later and have a good one.
Malfurion versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
I must protect the wild.
Okay, so I could just keep that and just play on curve. I think I'm probably just going to do that. What I'm looking for is minions with 4 attack, so, you know, I think we're going to be okay. It's probably just going to drop Northshire here. I'm just going to kill it to avoid him drawing. Yeah, anything with 4 attack is just brutal versus Priest at the moment. They just can't do anything about it. This is like such a Priest turn. What do you do there? You can't buff anything.
For the wild.
Admittedly, my turn isn't much better, but still. At least I actually did something. He still doesn't have anything. This is going to be all reactive, in which case I can just keep dropping these minions with 4 attack.
Do you hear its call?
So this will probably get Shadow Word Pain if he has it. Like, he's touching that right now. That's clearly just a Shadow Word Pain. Pretty damn good curve, I reckon. Oh, still has nothing. Like, so I could, like, innovate Arakoa, but what's the point? It's just going to get deathed, right? So I just keep playing 4 attack minions. By the time he actually does something, we're going to have such a dominating board presence.
Is someone injured?
Another Northshire. So he's going to buff that. What does he do now? Does he buff it again? No, it just heals. So I have to kill that. That's a good way to kill it. Yeah, I don't think I need to overcommit more than that. I mean, probably my biggest threat at the moment is AoE. This thing is less important to me.
For the wild.
I'm just gonna like build it up bit by bit. Let him use his AoE and then start dropping bigger stuff. At least if I drop Arakoa like next turn, it pretty much commits him to using a death. If he has one. So I can kill that. I really just want to avoid popping the Divine Shield on that because the only way he can cleanly deal with it is Holy Nova. Or like Holy Smite or something like that. And so if it has a Divine Shield, it's safer. So I'd almost like sack these two guys in before I actually killed that guy. Because Holy Nova is going to kill that guy anyway, so I'd be left with a 3-3, which is weaker to Priest. I'll just sack these two guys in. We'll play Arakoa, and this will bait a death.
That was a mistake.
So he's going to death, and then he has 4 mana left.
I have no time for games.
Sylvanas. That actually does kind of suck, actually, to be honest. I could just flood the board. I can't kill both of my guys, so I mean the only option I have is to flood my board.
The land serves me.
So this could be really good or it could be really bad. That's the worst one. That is by far the worst one.
For the wild.
At least that's Sylvanas out of the way though, so... If it had taken anything else, I would have been more than happy with that. That was the only one I didn't really want him to take. He's got a pretty clean Holy Nova here. He can't heal that back up though, which is good. We've got 2 Northshires out of the way too, which is good. Does he just kill this? Nah, he wouldn't kill it. There's no reason to kill it. Alright, so he did play Sylvanas into that. So, I mean, I feel like if I play Ironbark now, there's a chance that he doesn't have death. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he would have just deathed the Arakoa if he had it. So, I mean, there's never going to be a better time to play it than now. That could be death right there. Yep. Yep, that's death. Oh, well, at least that's one death out of the way for C'Thun. You have to be optimistic, right? We're still in pretty good shape.
Where shall I strike?
It all comes down to him stealing C'Thun's Chosen. If he didn't steal that, we'd have probably already like been on the way to winning this game. It's definitely a very greedy priest, hey? But then all priests seem to be greedy lately. This could be a long one, boys. Another Holy Nova? I hate to be thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to swipe face next turn. I don't know how he deals with both of these guys. He could play another Holy Nova. Does he just heal pass? Is that it? That's not it, right? He's got to do something else. That's like all taunt. Wow. Well, there's C'Thun, so that's pretty good. We've got an 18-18 right now, so I can clear the board here, swipe face, develop Drake. I think that looks pretty good. We're doing 5 damage to face. He's on 18-18, so we could potentially play Beckoner of Evil as well. He has used one Holy Nova, so I think that's probably like the way to go. Another 4 attack minion, so death's out of the way. I could play that first, just to be sure. Alright, so he's on 23. Unless he directly deals with this board, he's probably dead next turn, because I can actually buff the C'Thun to 20 first.
Embrace the void.
Or can I circle? No. Just uses the hero power. I think that's GG, to be honest. I have 20... I could be a little bit off. Alright, let's see. I have 5. 20 from C'Thun. So that's 24. He's on 23 and that's got 5. So effectively 28, because it's going to kill that. So then I can attack with this. So yeah, 4. I have 24 damage and he has 28 health. I can just Wrath for 4. Kill that and attack face.
For the wild.
Innovate the Ironbark Protector. Because, I mean, if he deaths that, then how does he death C'Thun, right? Also, the Beckoner of Evil could have been something he could have stolen with Cabal Shadow Priest. Is that the second death? Yep. Okay, well that's the second death out of the way.
Just a pinch of vigor.
Alright, we're still in the same spot that we were in last time. We still can't quite kill him outright, but he has used that death, so that's important. I think I just have to go for it.
Are you my master?
2020 C'Thun with no deaths. You know the deaths are gone, so... We're all in, but you never know. We might get lucky. How does he kill that? Big Game Hunter? Entomb it, of course. Of course he entombs it. And just out of range too. Just out of range. Oh my god. This is going to make it really hard to win from here. At least we can, like, fill up the board.
For the wild.
This way.
Job done.
I mean, a Holy Nova doesn't really deal with this board. Orkanai Circle deals with this board, but he already used the Orkanai, so... I mean, the chances of him having another one...
Welcome to the grand tournament, champion.
Alright, so that puts him up to 13. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 1 off. Come on, drawing to like direct damage. Oh, that's okay. That's good enough. I don't want to give him a chance. I mean, I could kill this, but
This way.
Feel my wrath.
I think we just have to go for it, you know? He's healing up for 4 a turn, so... If I don't get every point in, it could be just that 1 point that makes a difference. We were 1 off just then. Literally 1 off. I mean, he can entomb that, I guess, if he wanted to. If he has a second one. Shows you how greedy like the meta is at the moment, running 2 deaths plus Entomb. It's like such heavy control. Mind control. Are you joking? Look at this guy. Greed Priest. he might actually beat me. I might have actually lost the game from playing that taunt. If I don't draw into like any sort of direct damage right now, we're going to be in trouble. Well, that's it.
Well played.
Well played.
C'Thun! C'Thun!
There you go. Uber Greed Priest. And we still won. That was pretty good.
Malfurion versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
Okay, so this is going to be Face Shaman probably. I kind of need to see Druid of the Claw. Probably Swipe as well. Innovates would help. But I don't really want to toss these guys because I think I'm going to probably need to play on curve if I don't have Innovate. So we'll see how we go. He's just going to start smashing me in the face. Because that's what Shaman does these days. So I'm probably not going to get a much better target for Wrath than this guy right here, so
Job's done.
everything else is going to be like 4 health. So I need to like limit his board size until I start dropping my own stuff. What does he play for 3?
Did you bring some?
Yeah, Tuskar, that'd do it. That's a pretty good totem, hey. I think I need to Elder, hey.
Well met.
Next turn I can probably just play this guy as a Yeti. I don't see any sense holding off. Yeah, I think that's... He's probably going to kill that, I would. That's going to sort of limit his damage, but in the long run, he'll probably do more damage to me. So I can Maya Keeper and skip turn 5 and then Arakoa on the next turn. So that's pretty good.
The land serves me. Job's done.
In the past, I've found that the key to beating Shaman is just keep dropping taunts they can't get through. So, I mean, he could kill this if he wanted to. It would probably be in his best interest. By the way he's playing, it kind of looks like a bit more of a mid-range Shaman. So, Feral Spirit. Alright, let's just hope this one sticks. He does have enough damage to kill it with this Feral Spirit, but at least he can't get through and do damage to my face. C'Thun's on 10. This will be a 4-10 next turn, so I can Wild Growth and 4-10, I guess. What did he just play? Farsight. Oh, okay. Another Feral Spirit. I could just Wrath that. That kind of makes sense. I can just Klaxi and then Wrath that, right? Because that's just like got so much value. It just keeps like buffing his damage. At this point, I think I need to draw into Twin Emperors or C'Thun. I need to be able to wipe his board at some point. And it's just not happening at the moment. But he, on the plus side, he hasn't done a lot of damage to me, but that sort of kind of hints that maybe it's an Evolve Shaman, in which case this board's probably just going to get ridiculous next turn, so... There's C'Thun, so that's pretty good.
Are you my master?
Just trying to drop as much stuff as possible. C'Thun's on 12-12. What does he do here? Hexes that? Okay, if he hexes that, that came from like this side of the hand, so I'm hoping that he doesn't have the other one. But with a play like that, knowing you're playing against C'Thun, you probably have the other Hex, right? He might Hex this Doomcaller too, which could be pretty good.
The symphony of death begins.
Yeah, I think the problem is if he is holding Hex, it's going to be very hard to push through the rest of that damage. But hopefully he Hexes this, because this is a pretty big target. I can't see him hexing that though, but the other thing is I do have another Doomcaller. But I don't think it counts because technically it didn't die, right? Oh, we're just going face. Hogger. That's interesting. A swipe would be awesome right now. I think I have no choice but to C'Thun. As much as this sucks, I think I just have to do it. It'll clean up his board, and then I'm left with a 7-9. I can't see it not cleaning up his board. That's 14 damage there. He didn't kill Hogger. That sucks.
I am Rafam.
Rafam, that's okay.
Archaeologist.
Can't remember which one's which. I think the middle one's mummy zombies. So that's... Is that the damage one? Right hand side? 14 plus 7 is 21. Yeah, he's dead, right? Yep, 21. Yeah, he's dead.
Fool.
Well played.
Well played.
And it's as easy as that, boys.